Welcome. We're here. We're back again, doing some stuff live. Let me just make sure everything is up and running here on all the different platforms. Okay, I'm on a new platform. We're trying out something different. Okay, it says my stream is live there. So we're on something called Vibra. Vibra. Oh wow! I even got a notification on my phone that I'm live on YouTube. So that's cool. And we're streaming to this new thing called Vibra as well. Apparently, people can see it from Farcaster. So, oh yeah, you can't see what I'm looking at. Here, let's go over here. So we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube, and we're now also on this thing called Vibra here, which the image failed to load. And I think when people comment in the feed on this website, it also will populate in Farcaster. So kind of cool. So look, there we are. We're live. Okay, so today, might as well jump to it. So I need to work on events. So the problem is with Stoke Fire, the game that I'm working on, is that when you do anything, say you chop wood, you gather food, you're playing the game, it gives very generic notifications of what even happened. So say you chop wood, you'd get like 2 or 3 wood randomly. You don't know how many you're going to get, but you're going to get some, and it's just going to update. Like this state of your total resource and stuff just updates, but otherwise you don't really know, and you don't know how much you got. Here, let's actually just show you if I can do this. This will allow us to kind of jump in time, and then I can chop wood again if I have everything running. So it runs the transaction, and then we should see a little jump here. Oh, up. I don't think this is running. Yeah, I have a couple things not running, so I'll have to get that all running in the background. That's good. Okay, there it finally went. But let's see. Anyways, the notification that comes down is not very helpful. You don't know what really happened. I think I just messed up my state here. Probably because, so maybe I need to log out. Yeah, let's do that. Then we need to log back in. Not show you everything for a second here. So what we're going to do is that we need to grab all of the events that are happening in the game, and they're actually happening on the blockchain, and we need to index those events, which I just finished doing just before this. And then we can grab that data from that backend to populate with the events and things like that. So that's what we're working on right now. That's like the plan to do that next. Okay, here we go. Kind of getting back into it here. There we go. So like even like that, this is kind of the notification that comes down. And I'd like to have more data in there that's actually showing what's happening, and then probably have like an activity tab or something that shows like what's the history of things that have happened. And if we go over to the contracts here, so like this, for example, is on the smart contracts. These things are happening on the blockchain. You're chopping the wood, you're gathering food. This is the logic that's then updating the state, like your village and stuff. And you'll see we have these events right here. So this is a Solidity thing where you're chopping wood, you're gathering food, and it's sending out this data. You know, what's the token, the village ID, the time it was chopped, how much resources was added. And any program can like listen for these events, and that's what our indexer does, is it's listening for these events, and then it's indexing the data. And so then if I jump over to our indexer, this is our actual indexer. And so you can see, this is what I was just working on recently, is that now we have mints, villages, we have chop wood, gather food, all these are events, and it has all the data, like how much food was added, and then it even has what player it was. So then we can grab all this stuff and go for that. And then, you query all this data and you have all this data. So what I need to do is I need to actually, whenever I do an event, like an action, like I chop the wood or I gather food, I need to then request that endpoint, make a request, get that data so then I can show it to the user, just give some better feedback. Eventually what I'd like to do is actually have like an animation where maybe it's like the number of wood is going up on the screen and it's like a green number, and it just more visually like tells people what's happening. So yeah, that is kind of the plan. And so we're going to have to jump in the code and see how we're going to do this, because I have some ideas, but I don't completely know what it's going to look like yet. So we're just kind of have to figure it out as we go. So, I mean, that's kind of how things work. So if we jump over here, so this is our indexer here. We want to go to the app, and then we're going to go to our components, and we've got our village screen. So this is where this village screen is this kind of thing. Everything's happening here. And so let's do chop wood first. So here's when we chop wood, we get this on press, and it's doing the actual action on chain. So we're calling that. Then this mutate is actually mutating our local data. So locally, we're going to change what actually happens there. And so at this same time, when we mutate here, we should have the data we need to basically know, okay, how much wood did we actually get from chopping the wood? This mutate is coming from up here, I believe. Yeah, right here on our village. So it's just mutating the village, getting the updated village data. Well, we're going to have to do like another request to see what was the updated data on our backend. So I'm trying to think where would be best to do this. This await here, like once this is done, the data is already on our indexer. If I go to chop wood, we are basically encoding the call to the smart contract, and then this send transaction helper kind of handles all of the waiting. Let's see, we're waiting for the transaction to complete, and then we have this wait for indexer. So we're waiting for the indexer to complete. And so at this point, we should remember what this wait for indexer does. I think it's just like checking the status on our indexer, which I think knows like which block number we're to. So if our indexer has indexed everything up to that block, then we know it's ready, is kind of the idea. And so after this point is a perfect time for us to actually repull the data, which we return. And so right here, we can get updated wood data or chopped wood event data. So that's what we're going to do. This mutate function, this is something, it does have a promise. We could wait for that. I guess the main thing is I want this mutate and whatever async task I do here to grab the data, I want those to happen in parallel. So I could do like a promise all, or since this mutate we're not waiting for anything with it, I think we could just go ahead and do this afterwards, because we don't really need to wait for that to return for anything. And then you can see right here in this toast, this is the generic event that we're showing, is just you chop some wood, but we don't know how much wood. And so we want to know how much wood. Eventually I want to change how this toast looks. It's just this generic looking thing. And it's also kind of hard to see. I feel like you're not going to really, maybe we should change a little bit of that. Like just make the font size bigger. Because we're going to add something there, but I don't know. It'd be nice if it was more visually like what's going on. And that's where I think eventually like you click the button, there'd be like some animation that shows how much wood you got. That's bigger and stuff like that. So, but maybe I can do that later. For now, we just got to get the data and then kind of show it. I'm pretty sure I broke the state of my testing app here though, because it's not showing anything. Or it's showing the wrong village maybe, but we'll have to see. I'll chop some wood, see what happens. Just chop some wood and gather some food. Okay, we got some wood. Let's gather some food. Seems like it's working, I guess. But I'm pretty sure I created like another village when I was actually wanting to just sign in to my last one. Okay, so, and we're going to also have to do this multiple times. Hey, Nate Dev, I see you over there on Vibra. That's pretty cool. You can chat over there. Thanks for joining. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay. So yes, so this isn't my only event, right? Like we're going to have potentially lots of events. We've got chopping wood, gathering food, huts, stoking fire. All of these have events and we want to show more data, especially on Stoke Fire. Whenever you stoke fire, it costs 3 wood, but then you're potentially getting a different amount of score. You're potentially adding some villagers. Some villagers might join your village when you stoke the fire. Nate's asking for a TLDR in the game. Yeah, I can do that. I pretty much need to do that like every time I do something. Whenever I do a stream, I need to talk about that. So yes, the TLDR in this game is that I am building something on chain. It's going to be on base. And I want to do something interesting with an on-chain game. Obviously, people have tried to do some Web3 games, and some of them have worked, some of them have not worked. And I want to make something that can like last longer term and just like continue going. And kind of that idea is building your village on chain, and it's just a village that goes on forever as long as you kind of keep stoking the fire. That's one of the things. The villagers like to be warm, and that's why it's called Stoke Fires. You got to stoke the fire every 3 days at least, and these things can change. Right now, you have to spend 3 wood to stoke the fire at the end of 3 days so that you can keep going and keep building your village. And the goal is to grow your village, to grow your villager count. The bigger village, the better. And your score kind of goes along with that. But to do that, you need resources. And so that's why there's food, there's wood, you have huts that you need to build so that villagers will move into your village. And there's eventually, I have, right now you can only see me. I have this relations tab where you can basically relate to the other players on the game. So it's going to be multiplayer and you're playing with other people on chain. Right now, this is just a testing app, so it's just me. But I do have a version on my phone. I don't know if you can see this, but we've got like 10 people in early access that are playing this right now, and we're all growing our village together. And so you can kind of imagine, kind of the idea is that later, at some point, I want to add basically being able to attack other villages and try to steal some of their resources, and you have to be able to defend. And so it will get interesting. So it's kind of an economy game of building up your village, but then also doing some fighting. Kind of my inspiration, there's a couple different games that have inspired this. So a little bit of Clash of Clans. I wasn't actually a huge Clash of Clans fan, but it's a big game, and there's some ideas coming from there. Age of Empires 2, which is a game I really like. This is obviously not the same kind of game as that, but the economy part is similar. And then another game that's a crypto game is Friend Pet. That's another one that this is definitely inspired by a lot. I really like Friend Pet. That's one of my favorite on-chain games currently. Yes. Yes, that's a good one, Nate. Yeah, it is going to have the PvP. There are going to be some economic mechanics, and I'll have to talk about some of that stuff later once it's kind of more figured out. I mean, I have a whole plan for all of that, and that's just gotta implement that and kind of be ready to do it. But yeah, so that is pretty much what I'm building in a nutshell. If you have any other questions, anyone from, I don't know, YouTube or Twitter, feel free, or Vibra if you're on Vibra, feel free to put in some messages and I can answer those. So yeah, that's kind of the game in a nutshell. And I just kind of started in the last couple weeks. And it's going to be mobile. And so there's a lot to do. But yeah, it's been fun so far. Okay, so back to events. We need to get the event data. I think we're going to want to have some kind of I might have to have kind of helper functions for each action, because each action is going to have a different query. And so, yeah, I think that probably makes sense that we're going to have some different queries. I don't think it needs to be a hook, because I'm just like grabbing the data and then I'm thinking I'm going to just like show it. Later on, would love to rob my friends of their hard-earned resources. Yeah, that's kind of the goal. Rob your friends, steal stuff. Should be fun. Eventually, what I'd like to do is underneath these actions that you can do, have like an activity feed that kind of just shows, it just kind of lists all the things that you've done and just shows what you've done historically, so you can kind of look back and see just kind of what's happened. And so some of this is maybe preparing some of the groundwork for that as well. Well, actually with that, so if we go to our back in here, our indexer, so basically we have these events: build huts, chop woods, gather foods. I'm going to have to like make a query that's like querying all that stuff for that activity feed and then kind of formatting it in the right way. So maybe that is a little different. That groundwork is potentially different. For this, it might just be making one-off queries to each of these, pulling the data, showing it, stuff like that. But there'll be similar functions. Okay, so I guess I should jump into this. Where do we want this to be even? It's kind of a new thing in my code base, and this code base is I probably need to do a little more organization here soon. I don't necessarily like how many files I have in this components area here. But yeah, I'm thinking this will be in the utils, and what do I want to call it? It's not going to be contract stuff, because it's not actually calling the blockchain. Well, it could be, in some ways it is kind of like a read. These are actual reads to the blockchain. We're just like reading our indexer. So what do I call this? So I call it, let's make a new folder. We call it like queries or something like that. I don't know. Kind of seems a little generic. Could call it like activity, and then we're just like calling stuff to the activity. I don't know. Obviously, we can always change this. I'm kind of lost for words for what this should be right now. So we'll do that. And these are all really like getters. We're just like getting data. So let's do get chop wood event.ts. So we'll do that. Let's see if AI can help us out here. I've been trying to get better at using the UI, or the AI, I mean. Yeah, trying to get better at using the AI to see if it can help me be faster. So let's just write a prompt and see if this happens. Let's see. And then we can always update it. Make a function that calls our GraphQL backend with a query to get the chop wood event. Maybe that's good enough. And then function should return the data from that event. The input to the function should be a transaction hash. Since we have that data, we know what the transaction hash is, and then it should return. I already said that. All right, let's see if this works. So if I do command enter, it will scan my code base first, because that should be helpful in this AI figuring out what the data looks like, because I have the indexer in this code as well. You can see it here. So the schema and everything like that. And look at that. Chop wood query. This is going to change our life. Man, it's pretty crazy. AI. Command K. Yeah, Command K. Similar kind of thing. I was just checking the chat, seeing if anything else is in here. Okay, so I mean, at first glance, it looks like this might work. The only thing, I use Axios typically, so I might just ask it to, what is all of this stuff? Oh, that's my indexer. It's like it explained it a little bit more than maybe I was wanting. But yeah, let's just go ahead and apply that. Boom. Accept. And we'll see if it works. These are all looking correct, I think. Chop wood event. Yeah, we even got a type for that, which probably we can export it because we might use it. Let's try, can you use Axios instead of, wait, where did it make a fetcher function? Oh yeah. Oh wow, they even import the fetcher function from the utils. Okay, so they know what they're doing. I was thinking, oh, I forgot about that function. That should be, yeah, right here. This gets the GraphQL endpoint. Yep. Wow, they're good. They're real good. Okay, data chop wood. So that should get data chop wood here. So yeah, it seems like that should be good. I guess next step is to actually just try it out. So we'll exit that out. And then we'll go back into our village screen and get chop wood event. We pass it the hash. We await it. Chop wood event equals that. Seems good, seems good. Yeah, cursor is pretty amazing. It's kind of crazy. Very true. I'm getting better at it, but it seems very powerful, and it's just kind of like, this is gonna change programming forever. I think like it's just gonna keep getting better, and that's why I'm just like, I think we gotta try to learn how to use it and use it well. So, okay. So probably the easiest way, let's just like log out this data. So that we can see it. And then the other thing I'm going to do, we'll actually say, oh, whoops. jumping over screens here. Let's just say how much wood that they actually got. Dots. Wood added. It's really all we care for, at least this part. We might want some of that other data in our actual activity log. Okay, it's looking good. I think the other thing, if we could make our font bigger for the toast so we can actually see stuff. So I'm trying to remember where that is. I think in our layout, maybe toast. I'm guessing there is some config for that we could use if we wanted to. Toast props. I'm trying to remember what even library that is. Some toast library. React Native toast message. Let's see if Cursor knows how to format that a little better. Can you update the default styling for a toast using the React Native message library to make the font a little bigger, the font size? All right, let's see if it does it. Okay, so it thinks this is it. Text 1 style, text 2 style. I mean, we'll accept it. We'll see what happens. It's trying to pull in this base toast. Is that actually a thing? Oh, it looks like that is a thing. Error toast. That's also a thing. Wow, that's pretty cool. I kind of want to just go jump over to the actual docs. You can actually, with Cursor, I think you're able to, somehow you're able to put the docs in as well of like any docs, just like a website, and it will like scan those and use those. Custom layouts. Oh, look at that. It looks pretty much like what the AI did. And then it puts it in a config, which is what we have. Wow, that's pretty cool. Nice. So that might work. We'll see what it looks like because they just made up something. Font size 17 and 15. Yeah, that could be interesting. All right, otherwise, I think we're ready to try this out. We have that's build screen, chopping the wood. Okay, let's see. I think I have everything running. So then to actually chop wood, I have to jump forward a day because you're only allowed to chop every day. At least right now, that's how I have it. I think I might change it to be more often. But let's try it. Chop wood. Let's see what comes up here. Let's see what their let's see what their toast looks like. Hey, look at that. You got 2 wood. Wow, that just worked. It just worked right away. I did not I did not expect us to be successful the first time. I was kind of expecting something not to work right. But that's pretty cool. So, and the font was actually bigger. I can't believe it. Okay, so before we gather food, let's just go ahead and recreate this. For right here, we have the gather food. So basically what I want to do, oh, I got a message. Maybe not. Seeing if someone is in the chat. You're watching me code from my phone, Nate? Why is that? Oh, I didn't know you built Vibra. That's cool. I was talking to JP. because I know he's working on it. And he's also playing, he's in my Stoke Fire early access. So he was telling me about it. And it's like, all right, I'll try it out. Yeah, it seems pretty good so far. It's pretty cool that it's, connected to Farcaster. I did not know that Vibra was also a mobile app. That's cool. Okay. Yeah, so basically we just need to recreate this for Gather Food. So let's just tell Cursor to do this. Can you create a get what do we want? Get gather food event, very similar to the get chop wood event function. And I'm going to let it go through the whole code base again. You're the React Native dev. Nice. That's cool. Hope it's working. So then you know what I'm doing because I'm in React. I did React Native quite a while ago. I've done mostly web app stuff over the last 3 years. Before that, I was doing React Native and doing iOS and Android. So it's been a little bit. So this is kind of the first Expo React Native app I've worked on in a while, and it's been good. Expo has gotten really good. I feel like I'm really enjoying it, especially being able to update. That is like an amazing feature. Being able to update things so quickly, it makes it feel like a web app experience, basically. I've really been enjoying Expo. Okay, so gather food. I'm just I just have to review everything the AI writes because I just don't completely trust it all the time. Using the fetcher, it's looking pretty good. Copy. They even have the export that I didn't have last time, so that's pretty sweet. So I wish Cursor could make new files, but it can't do that. So we have to do that part. Get gather food event.ts. Copy that in there. Everything's looking pretty good. So now we can go down here after mutate. Okay, so we got that. Let's clean up some data here. Okay, we'll add it here. You got, how much food did you get? You got food added. Some food. Yeah, React Native Expo, so good. So good. All right, so that should be it for our gather food event. So let's see if it worked. Gather food, and you got one food. Yes, this is too good. Nice. So we got those two events working. We need to do the Stoke Fire, and then we need to do the building huts. Okay. So let's just make this first. Get Stoke Fire event.ts. Okay, Cursor, it's time for you to do some work. Create a get Stoke Fire event, very similar to get chop wood event. There we go. Always got to do command enter there. I feel like it gives it superpowers when it can scan your code base. I don't know if it remembers. I don't know. I feel like you have to do it every time. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, I was just checking some things. I'm back. Score added, wood added, villagers added. That looks good. So this one is good because when you stoke the fire, you could lose villagers. You could lose food. You could get more score. Like there's some randomness here, and so it's nice to have some feedback for the player to actually know what happened. All right, it's looking pretty good. Except that. Okay. You like to tag specific files instead. Oh, yeah, context limit for cursor. I don't know. How do you tag files? Oh, the mention? What? I did not know about this. What? You can mention. Okay, wow. So I put some of these docs in here, but I did not know this is how you used it. You have to use the at folders, files. Oh, gotcha. So I could just mention the one file that I care about. Wow, I did not know about all that. Mention folders. Wow, that's pretty crazy. That's cool. I'll have to use that. And I could load all my different docs in here. This is like, it makes you feel like you have superpowers almost. Instead of like going back to the docs and like reading through tons of pages and doing lots of work that way and then like jumping back and forth. It's just all here. You just ask it, hey, how do you do that one thing? And it just knows. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Always use the current file's context. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so we have our event now. Everything's looking pretty good there. So now, Stoke. So there's multiple things that you could potentially be getting here. So we'll have to make this message. Let's see. So you got, so let's see what their score was. What should I call this? You got so much more score. I don't know if that's the best way to say it. And then so potentially this is actually a negative number. They could actually lose villagers as well. So maybe what we'll do is, if this is greater than equal to 0, then we'll say something like I think we'll say something like added that many villagers. So if it's greater than 0, you gained that many villagers, or you lost that many villagers. This probably should be like its own function or something like that at some point, maybe. So now I can possibly undefined. We'll just do 0 for that. Okay, whatever. no parentheses. So you gained space or lost that many villagers. And then let's see, what else? You're going to spend food because every time you stoke fire, it costs food. So like the villagers eat the food. So maybe so you got that much more score, gained or lost villagers. Villagers 8. So it is food added. So it's going to be a negative number because it's always negative. They're always eating. The villagers are always eating food. So I think we'll have to do like math.abs value that. Food. All right, kind of a long message. That's why eventually it'd be better if I had this stuff in other places. Let's do 0 otherwise. But we'll see. We'll keep it stoked. We'll see what this looks like, what this ends up looking like. But yeah, that's why it would be nice for me to have like an activity feed where people can kind of see what's going on there as well. Yo, fun. I see you. I don't know if you're still there, but you were here. Good to see you. Got some other people jumping in. Nice. Got some people on Vibra. Got some people on YouTube. Got some people on Twitter. They just come from all over the place here. Okay, so I think it already loaded. So we have enough wood to stoke. So let's stoke. Let's see what the event looks like. It goes off. Got 3 more score. Lost 0 vote. Okay, so it goes off. We need to somehow fix our toast. Let's ask, because I don't know off the top of my head how I would do this. So let's ask Cursor to do this. You make it so that text 2 does not go off the screen if there is too much text. Instead, it should wrap. Okay, let's see. What's it gonna do? Oh, okay. Wrap. Text to number of lines 0. Wouldn't you need some more lines there? I would think. Okay, let's jump forward in time. It's like we got a time warp. We can just jump forward. About to head to the gym. Nice. Getting strong. All right, so we chop wood. Gather food. I think it's going to be nice that that's bigger. But the styling does not really match. And then stoke fire. Let's see if it works. Okay, yes, it kind of works. But then it's going off the screen. Is there a max height here? Padding horizontal. Let's see. Can you make the height of the node of the toast extend if the text is too long? Instead of going off the view, something like that. Let's see. min height. So padding horizontal, they made that, I guess they didn't change it. So this means it's just going to be bigger. Probably just means it's going to be a bigger notification for everything, which I don't really like. I would like it to just be dynamic. All right, chop wood. I feel like the transactions are taking longer. Like we have to hit that endpoint as well. But so yeah, I don't know if there's a great way around that. Okay, that did not work. Oh, you changed height as well. Let's go to, let's check out the docs here. We could create our own completely new toast instead of the base toast, which would then give us more control. We could also have our own pixel font. So I think, yeah, so we can just set this. Let's see if we can get cursor to get us started here. Instead of using a base toast, can you make a custom view toast? It should use our pixel text component for text. This will actually make our styling look better. Let's try doing at. Try to get a, oh, whoops. Oh, I guess that's how it works. Okay. So yeah, from pixel text, what else do we want to do? And it should have a little green on it to show success. Let's see. And it should let the to message wrap. The view should expand horizontally if message is too long. All right, let's see. Let's see, can you change the styling to use Tailwind CSS? I like Tailwind CSS better. That max width, I don't know if that's right. It's also, okay, that's a min width, okay. Max width 80%, maybe that's good. It's giving me a nice border. This could work. Flex 1. Okay, we will accept that. Need the view, need the pixel text. Do I tag the GitHub example just by copy paste, or you have to like tag the like the URL to it or something? Not exactly sure how you do that, but I should check, I guess. text 1. Yeah, did we do that? Doesn't look like it. We need... Oh, but it did work. It knew what to do, text 1 and text 2. Okay, so I can add a URL. Nice, that's pretty cool. All right, let's see what this looks like. Move forward in time. Let's chop wood, see what that looks like. Nice. I mean, it's fairly good. We need to make this text size smaller, text small, probably. And then we need to make it text gray 600. Maybe 500. That might be good. And then the width was weird. I think we want it to be more like 90%. Is it round? Was it rounded? I don't remember it being rounded. I don't want it to be rounded. All right, let's try gather food. Okay, it's looking better. The width is weird. Let's see if I now Stoke. Hey, it at least fits. So now we just need to fix that width. I wonder if it's... I guess we could just do... Oh, it's taking up the space. And the max width is 90. So we need to do like width full maybe. See what that does. We want to take as much width as possible. There we go. Yes. I am using native wind. Yes, I like native wind. Native wind is great. I like tailwind, so it's kind of, I kind of cannot, well, I can, but I don't like writing normal CSS anymore, especially in opposite in like separate files. I do not like that. I think we did it. Did we do it? I think it's, well, we have to do the error one, which should be pretty simple. But it now has our styling, which is great. Let's make this be text gray 600, just so that it's a little brighter. And then we're going to use this exact same thing here, and then we'll just change that to red. That should be good. To test that, we could just go over here and just change our chop wood here to be error. Boom, that worked. Okay, so I'm liking that. What was I thinking? Is there anything else we need to do here? Oh, have we done our hut? We've not done our hut. So I have to do our hut. I thought there was something else I was thinking I needed to do, but now I can't remember what it was. Got too many things. going on at once here. Okay, get build hut event.ts. Create a get build hut event function just like in, and then we'll do the file get build food, but for the build hut event. Added, yes. Looking good. All right, I know what this should be called now. It should be called events or get events. Get events. All right, that's good. Looks like it updated. All right, so here is this. Oh, that's what I was thinking about. I was thinking about, is there any way I can make this faster? Because now everything's kind of waiting. Oh, that's one thing I could do. I think. Oh no, I didn't even do that. Yeah, we definitely want to set false. We want our loading indicator to just like stop. We don't really care for it to wait for this, I don't think. So let's see if I did that on all of them. Yes. Yes. At least that gives it a feeling of the event happened quicker. So apparently if it was taking that long anyways, that's the actual event on the blockchain. So wish it was a little faster though. Well, so for this one actually, now I think about it, when you build a hut, there's no randomness. You just get a hut. So I actually don't care to do this. Yeah, this is all fine. I don't need to update that. We'll keep the event around because who knows, maybe I'll want that later. But yeah, we already know, like maybe there's a day where it's dynamic or you can build two, but I don't think that makes sense. Like it makes sense that you have a certain amount that you spend on and then you just do it. So let's build a hut. Boom. All right, so that is pretty much what I wanted to do, at least for the events. Like that's everything right there for all the events I have. And that will come in very handy, especially now that I have all of this indexing, not over there, here. This is what I just did right before this, was indexing all these events on the blockchain. And so, yeah, that's nice that we'll have that. And there's more that I can do with this kind of stuff, which will be cool. And I can just kind of follow a similar pattern for all the new events because there's going to be more things I'm adding. So I want to just kind of get this all working before I did that. So let's just kind of quickly look at our changes we made. We have all these events before we commit it. Then I might even push it to Expo. Looks like we don't need these anymore, so let's delete that. Oh, it's yelling at me here. Did I just delete the wrong thing? Oh yeah, toast. We just don't want these two. Okay. Everything's still good, hopefully. So let's go ahead. Push all that stuff. Added, getting the events and showing them. And we push that. And I'll just show my face as I go and go over to my other commands here. Here we go. So I'm going to update my production with this. Show action events. Update. Thanks everyone for jumping in here. If you have any questions or thoughts about what I'm doing, let me know. Okay, so we just pushed that and should show up on my phone. This is what I love about Expo because it makes it feel like web. Hey, it's JP. Hello. Vibra is working from what I can tell. So good job. Maybe I should pull it up here so we can do a little inception here. See what it looks like over here. It looks nice. I like how it looks. You guys did a good job. I like the design. That's looking pretty cool. So now you guys can see all the screens of Vibra over there. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm curious to hear kind of what your guys' ideas. Oh, that's interesting. So I didn't. Oh, that's pretty smart play. So it's like everyone's replying here, which then it's giving Moxie. So I've made 42 in Moxie. That's pretty smart. Yeah, the frame wasn't working for whatever reason, but that's fine. But yeah, that's kind of smart. Make it so that people want to comment and then they're giving their Moxie over. That's pretty cool. Curious to hear kind of what your guys' vision is with this. I know there is like another Farcaster live streaming platform that we will not name right now. I've not tried it, but I don't know. It could be interesting having some competition and stuff like that. So, okay. So kind of what do we want to do next is the question here. Okay, I should have my update. So I'm going to pull that up. Do you guys know with Expo? Because I think, or maybe at least maybe Nate would know. With Expo, does the user have to like close out the app and the app has to like be opened fresh for them to see the update pop up? That might be, I guess that could be something custom that I can configure. But I basically have on the app, well, it's right, it will pop up right here near the top. When you click open up the village, you can see kind of this orange bar. So now it's seeing it, but I had to exit out of the app for that update to come. So I just didn't know, if Expo handled that or whatever. Okay, so I just have it now on my phone, so that's cool. But yeah, so kind of the question is, what do we want to do next here for Stoke Fire? So I could use those events to kind of make an activity feed that just shows all the activity. And I think that would be interesting and that would be cool. So that's one thing I could do. And really that wouldn't be too hard. So maybe we should just do that now. We just do that here. And then I would like add it to the bottom of the screen. The other thing that I'm starting to think about is, you don't use Expo Go, only dev builds. You should use Expo Go. I think that's where it's all at, because then you can just like make updates and it's really fast, and then you don't have to go through the whole app review process, which I think is the worst. So I I don't like the app review process. It's annoying. So yeah, the other thing that I'm thinking about building next, which probably makes sense, I'd have to do some more smart contract stuff, but is a fighting system. Because I think that's where Stoke Fire is going to start getting pretty interesting, is being able to fight each other and battle your friends and steal their resources and things like that. So it's going to be interesting. I'm going to have to do kind of like an interesting commit reveal scheme, they call it. Oh, I see. You're saying you need native libraries for videos. That makes sense. Yeah, I think almost with everything I'm building, I don't think I need native libraries like at all. Like maybe someday for notifications, I think, but otherwise it's like all just like within app. So that makes sense. So yeah, I'm thinking to do like an interesting commit reveal scheme, they call it. So this is kind of, at least from what I know, the only way to share, like kind of like hide things on the blockchain, because obviously everything on the blockchain is public. And so kind of the idea with this commit reveal scheme is you commit some data that's encrypted. And then at a later date, you can reveal what that data is by making another transaction that's with your secret to kind of unlock the data that was on the blockchain. And so kind of my idea is to use that scheme for the battle mechanics. So maybe I'll just explain my idea, and then you guys can share in the chat what you think. Give your feedback. So every 12 hours, let's do every 12 hours, either every 12 hours or every 24 hours, a player does two things. They choose who they want to attack, and then they choose, when they attack, they have to choose one of your resources that they want to steal. Do they want to steal wood? Do they want to steal food? Maybe in the future I'll have another resource, and so you're choosing one of those resources, one of the three. For now, it'd be just wood or food. And you choose who you want to attack, and you choose if you're going to do wood or food. At the same time, every day, you also defend, because someone could attack you. So you choose which of your resources you want to defend. So you can defend wood or you can defend food. And so if someone attacks you and you defend the right resource, then basically they for sure don't get any of your resources. And maybe they even like lose some score. Maybe they lose some villagers. They lose some of their resources potentially. And you're safe. So that kind of becomes a little bit of a strategy game of like who's going to attack who, and then like what resources they're going to take. And I think that could make it kind of interesting. Like it could kind of be like this interesting game with your friends, where, you have to look and see like, okay, what resources do they need? Maybe you're looking at like the activity to see like what they've been doing recently, what their current resources are, to get an idea of like, what do you think they're going to defend? So yeah, I don't know. I think this could be like an interesting kind of thing. And so then how that works with the commit reveal idea is that the defender has to commit what they're going to defend on the blockchain. So they commit that, it's encrypted. No one knows what they are defending. And so then once the attacker attacks, that will create another transaction where in that transaction, it doesn't need to be encrypted. It just says they're attacking food or they're attacking wood. Then the defender, at some point later, they come back to the game. They have to then reveal their secret. And in revealing, they then see if they won the battle or lost the battle, like if the resources were taken or not. And it might even be like a game stopper where it's like if they don't reveal the battle, they can't continue getting resources and stuff like that. So like when they come back to the app, maybe they even get a notification like someone attacked you, and then you just kind of click, see, reveal what happened. And doing that, they're doing a transaction to reveal what happened. And at the same time, when they reveal it, it will then send an event over to the attacker, and they can see, that they won some resources or they didn't. They were successful. So I think it could be kind of cool. because there'll be some different timing with it. It's like just late randomly in the day, you'll find that someone attacked you. And when you attacked, you won't necessarily know the results until your friend or whoever reveals it. And so I don't know, I think it could be some interesting interaction. So curious if you're still here, if anyone's in the chat, let me know what you think about this idea. I think I'm going to write out this plan and then share it with my early access users. Yeah, so Nate's saying you really like it. Making sure that things don't feel unfair to receive. If I lose something, I don't want to feel defenseless. Yeah, I think there's definitely going to be, that's going to be the challenge with this, and kind of with a lot of this game, is like figuring out the balance and making it so that people don't get upset with, like, because you could be losing some resources, things like that. And that's kind of what makes things fun at the same time, I think, because if you have no risk, if there's nothing at stake, then it's like, what's the point? It's like, there's no challenge. There's no like, oh, what's going to happen? So I think you have to have a little bit of that, but then it's like, you can't go too far. So it's like things have to be at risk, at stake, and you could maybe lose something. But you don't want it to be too much to where people get upset. And yeah, it definitely has to feel fair. And I think this will be hard to keep balanced as I go, because, if we add more features, more events, more resources, different things you can do, like, kind of the battle will always be balancing the different players and stuff. So like, if I lose something, it has to be my fault. Yeah, I can see that. That's an interesting way to think about it. I was reading a book that talked about this idea that, like, people get very frustrated when they feel like they can't control what's happening. And so, if it's not their fault and it just happens, then that would be kind of annoying. Another thing I really liked about Age of Empires 2 was alliances, but I don't know how to implement that. I had some ideas around that. Like, I think, kind of grouping up with your friends in some way. I think that would be interesting. It could make a lot of sense. Maybe I implement like trading. You can trade your resources with your buddy, and like you can help each other out. So I think there's some different mechanics like that we could add that could be interesting. But yeah, there could even be something where it's like you form an alliance with a group of people and you can't attack each other, but you can kind of help each other. The other whole thing that I'm going to have to do with this battling system is kind of only allow you to battle people that are like in a certain reach of you. Because if you imagine there's a whole list of leaderboard of players, if the top player that has tons of resources and lots of things can just go pick on a smaller person that doesn't have much, or things like that. So like, I'm thinking kind of limiting it to, you can only like attack people that are in a very similar score range to you. And I think that will hopefully help some things as well. So yeah. I was just commenting on the live chat just to check it out. That's pretty cool. So that means I just commented on my own post, right? Maybe not. Yes, I can. That's funny. I wonder if, I don't know, just a random thought I was thinking for you guys, for Vibra, I wonder if, people are replying in feed in the casts. I wonder if Warpcast sees any of these comments as kind of spammy or spam, because, you end up having tons of replies to that main cast. And I know they do some filtering based on, was the reply, like, does it make sense with the cast? And since it's a live stream, it could be something where like people are, Warpcast algo is like, hey, that looks very spammy or something. I don't know. I was just thinking that. Okay. So yeah, that is my thoughts. The cool thing with this battle system and all this stuff is I can kind of build it as I go, and kind of change things. Okay. So you're saying it's not a problem. Okay, that's good. Good to know. Yeah, so I'm thinking that I could do like a simple version of this battle stuff, try it out, and then like can always make it better, and update it and kind of rebalance things. The other kind of problem right now is that every time you do go and get resources, you only get like a couple, and that's kind of not enough to play around with the fighting. Like, because if you steal one, that could really hurt you if you only have a couple. So I don't know. I have to kind of balance that out a little bit too and figure that out as I go also. So anyways, right now, let's see what time it is. It's 4:30 where I am. So I think what I might try to do really quickly here is see. Oh, Siri, why are you talking? Siri's popping up on my computer. No, Siri. Is I need to make a query for all the events. And so I think, and it's kind of like I want to query all these and then I want to merge them together by time. So I don't know exactly what that will look like. Maybe I will ask cursor, because I can go over to my schema and just try to have it help me. Can you make GraphQL query for this schema that pulls all of the events? I should probably list them off, like Event Village, Stoke, chop wood, gather food, and build hut. I guess we should do the last one too. I don't know if that works completely yet. Build hut and raise Stoke Fire. And puts them in a list filtered by time. It would be descending. So we have the newest thing first. Let's see if it can do this. So I think use a union to combine all the different event types into a single list. Each event type is queried separately. Wow, if this works, that will have saved me quite a bit of time. Doing a limit 100. What is the offset doing? Is that for pagination or something? Oh yeah, I can use that for pagination, I guess. Okay, so let's copy this. And then let's see if we can get it working over here. Only problem is I don't think I can do variables in here like that. So maybe what I should do, I already have it. I'll copy it and I'll put it in a file, and then I'm going to ask it, can you remove okay. What did it do? It's still writing. Oh, perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. Yeah, just giving an offset 0. So now, before I copy that, let's go over and paste this under utils, get events, new file. We'll call it get all events. I guess this also, I was thinking for player, because that's eventually I might want like a activity stream for the whole game. That could be interesting too, which I think is actually what this query is doing. So I might want to update that too for player. But for now, I'm going to focus on this one. Let's paste that. Copy this. Put it in here. All right, let's see. Syntax error. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. I thought I copied this. Oh. Apparently, this is still incorrect. What? Or was it down here? Here it is. Here's the right one. Syntax error. All this stuff. Let's see. I have not done a union in GraphQL. I'm trying to think how this works. What we could do, I have another, oh, whoa, that's really weird. I have another AI tool here called Typing Mine that I like to use. Let's paste it into here. I think, yeah, I don't know if that's how the union syntax works. Yeah, this looks like this could be more correct manually, maybe. This is like doing individual queries and then it's doing all of them together. This seems like it's missing things as well. Events. Let's see. How do you do a union? I don't remember how to do this, so define the union type. Then you do the query. I don't care about that. The events thing, I feel like is not right. Having the events is almost like an object here. That doesn't seem right. I'm getting a little bit hot. I need to take my sweatshirt off. Give me a second here. Let's go check out the GraphQL docs for a union and see what it says. Lots of stuff here. So they're doing, okay, so this is kind of similar to what the AI said. We have a union like that. They're different types. And then what? Orders. On discount. So this is like the union doing it on. Okay, so it is kind of looking like what the AI was saying. My computer engines are starting to go here. So there might be something here with that. It's just like the events is incorrect, I think. Let's see. Because that's not a thing that exists, right? Is it something like union? What do we have available to us? Players, it's just the schema stuff. If I do... Where do we define the union type? Or, oh, maybe this is the problem. Maybe my GraphQL indexer does not support unions. Because I'm using Ponder behind the scenes. Union. Here we go. This might be what we need. A union of all event names that are available from the contracts defined. Okay. A generic type that optionally accepts an event name and returns the event object type for that event. So this is more like an indexer thing, I think. If no event name is provided. Yeah, this is more like an indexing thing, which is not what we want. We're wanting the schema API kind of stuff. So we can check that out. Filtering, sorting, yes. Page type. Maybe they don't have it. I'm pretty sure with Ponder, you can also do something where you just access the database directly. So I could do just normal SQL queries. So I might have to do something like that potentially if it doesn't support it. I know what we could do. Let's see if, because I have the docs in here. Does Ponder support query unions in its queries? Let's see what this says in the query. Oh, but they're talking about it thinks it does. It says underscore union, but I don't even see that as an option here. So I think you might be lying. Yeah, might be. Custom or non-standard GraphQL. Define a union. Oh, so this is what it was telling me earlier something about. Query that union type. Use inline fragments to specify fields for each possible type in the union. So this is kind of looking like what it was wanting to do earlier, maybe. Yeah, so would I have to implement a resolver, which I don't know if that is possible. You can earn Moxie by replying to your own cast. What? That seems like cheating. Let's try it out. I'll just say, yes, you are right. Reply. I think I should be able to see how much Moxie I have. So this has apparently gotten 523 Moxie. Not bad. Which is what you show here too. Nice. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so I don't think I can create resolver stuff. Let's see. I don't think that's possible, but we will see. Okay, so maybe I can create type. Interesting. See, we define a custom. We've also defined a custom resolve for the events query, which could be used to implement the logic for fetching and combining different event types. Single query result, which seems to be what you're wanting to do. So they made this event, custom field. Okay. I wonder if this takes a lot of extra. Yeah, I don't know, to make this. So I'm going to tell it. Can you make a custom events resolver so that I can make a query like this? See if it will generate that for me. Interesting. Event create union. And that uses the event. Well, I don't need all these parts, but I guess we'll see if this works. I think this was partially what it was trying to tell me earlier, but it was kind of confusing because I didn't know that's what it was doing. Let's make sure I have everything here. This kind of just makes it very large. See, this is what we're going to see. If this create union thing even exists. No, it does not. There's only create table. There's no, I think we're talking to a crazy AI here. It does not know what it's saying. Well, yeah, I don't think that works. So I think what I'll probably do is I'll probably ask the people at Ponder if this is possible to do a union, because I don't think it is, but maybe I'm missing something, and they'll tell me. Otherwise, I might just have to end up doing a big actual SQL query to their database, which I haven't done before, so I have to figure that out. But at least we've kind of gotten a start on this, and you guys were helpful in I don't know, watching, I guess, talking about it. So yeah, thank you for joining along. I'll probably do some more of these later. I'm also like playing around with different like shorter content, like shorts of just like sharing what I've been up to and progress I'm making building. I think I'll probably do more of that because I feel like more people are willing to watch those kind of things instead of like a huge long live stream. So I think I'm going to do some more of those things. But yeah, this was fun. Thanks for tuning in, and